Imagine creating the future with your own hands, and then becoming its biggest victim. This is the unbelievable story of Kodak, a company that once controlled almost 90% of America's film market, employed more than 145,000 people worldwide, and was one of the most powerful brands on earth. But today, most young people barely know it exists. And the most shocking part, Kodak actually invented the digital camera. Yes, the very technology that destroyed the company was created by Kodak itself. So how did a giant become irrelevant? How did a company that saw the future first still lose everything? This is the rise and fall of Kodak. The story begins in 1888. An entrepreneur named George Eastman had a simple vision. Photography should be as easy as using a pencil. Back then, photography was expensive and complicated. Cameras were huge, and only professionals could use them. Kodak changed everything. The company launched a simple camera with a revolutionary slogan, "You press the button, we do the rest." And just like that, photography became mainstream. Families started capturing birthdays, vacations, weddings, and memories for the first time. Kodak didn't just sell cameras, it sold memories, and that emotional connection made Kodak unstoppable. By the 1970s, Kodak had become a global empire. Its yellow film boxes were everywhere. In fact, Kodak Moment became part of everyday language. That's how powerful the brand was. But behind this success was a dangerous problem. Kodak's entire business depended on film rolls, not cameras. Film was where the real money came from. Every photo clicked meant more film sales, and Kodak loved that business model. Too much, because soon, a new invention would threaten everything. In 1975, a young Kodak engineer named Steven Sasson built something unbelievable, the world's first digital camera. It weighed almost 4 kilograms, captured black and white images, and took 23 seconds to store one photo. It looked ridiculous, but it was revolutionary. Sasson presented it to Kodak executives, and their reaction, they were terrified, because they immediately understood one thing. If photography became digital, people would stop buying film. And if people stopped buying film, Kodak's empire would collapse. So instead of aggressively developing digital cameras, Kodak hid the technology. Yes, the company that invented the future became afraid of it. Kodak executives believed digital photography would take decades to become mainstream. They wanted to protect their existing business instead of disrupting themselves. And that single mindset became Kodak's biggest mistake. During the 1990s and early 2000s, technology started evolving rapidly. Computers entered homes, internet usage exploded, people wanted speed and convenience, and digital cameras became better every year. Companies like Sony, Canon, and Nikon moved aggressively into digital photography. Meanwhile, Kodak moved slowly, very slowly. Even though Kodak eventually entered the digital market, it was already too late. Why? Because Kodak still thought like a film company, not a technology company. The company kept trying to protect its old business instead of building the future. And then came the final blow. Smartphones. When phones started getting cameras, people no longer needed separate cameras at all. Suddenly, billions of people could take unlimited photos instantly. No film, no printing, no waiting. The entire photography industry changed forever. And Kodak wasn't ready. Kodak's profits began collapsing. Film sales crashed, factories shut down, thousands of employees lost jobs. The company desperately tried to survive by selling printers and digital products. But the market had already moved on. In 2012, the unthinkable happened. Kodak filed for bankruptcy. A company worth billions, a company that dominated photography for more than 100 years, had fallen. And the irony, the company was destroyed by digital photography, which it had invented itself. That's what makes Kodak one of the greatest business case studies in history. Kodak's failure wasn't because it lacked innovation. In fact, it was too innovative. The real problem was fear. Kodak became a victim of something called the innovator's dilemma. The company was so dependent on its current profits that it became afraid to disrupt its own business. Instead of asking, "What will customers want tomorrow?" Kodak asked, "How do we protect today's profits?" And that mindset destroyed the company. Because in business, if you don't disrupt yourself, someone else will. Kodak's story teaches some brutal lessons. Lesson 1. Innovation alone is not enough. Kodak invented the future, but invention means nothing without execution. Ideas don't win. Adaptation wins. Lesson 2. Never fall in love with your current business model. Kodak thought it was in the film business, but it should have realized it was in the memory business. Technology changes. Customer needs stay. Lesson 3. Fear can destroy giants. Kodak feared losing film revenue, and because of that fear, it lost everything. Sometimes companies fail, not because they move too fast, but because they move too slowly. Lesson 4. Disrupt yourself before others. Do the companies that survive are the ones willing to replace their own products before competitors do? That's exactly what companies like Apple continue to do successfully. Today, Kodak still exists in a much smaller form, but it is no longer the giant it once was. Its story remains a warning for every company, and maybe even for all of us, because the future doesn't wait. And sometimes, the biggest threat to success is success itself. So the next time technology changes around you, remember Kodak, the company that invented tomorrow, but chose to live in yesterday. If you enjoyed this business case study, hit the like button and subscribe for more stories about brands, billion-dollar mistakes, and business wars. And tell me in the comments, which company do you think could become the next Kodak?